Evening, everybody. Well, what a day. Been absolutely different, let me tell you. So, as I done the video earlier, MTU manager for track and trace, no more. I was dismissed from the position, and it was quite surreal actually. A member of public complained that I was loud, and I scared the member of public who was getting tested in the actual walk-in area. That's the allegation made. I've had no investigation, no information on the allegation which was made. So no track and trace anymore. But in one way, I'm happy. The only thing I am going to miss are the staff. The staff on the track and trace are absolutely amazing, especially in Heathrow, and they work hard. But what a lot of people don't realise with this COVID-19 track and trace is it's not being led from the top. There's a lot of problems, all right? If you don't know what the mobile testing unit is, it's the unit that goes out and sets up a drive-through. So what we do, we set, this is a picture of one of the sites that I would have set up. So the cars actually drive down the road. We give the tests, they drive in and they self-test themselves, all right? And as you can see, the gazebo up to the far left is that's the actual walk-in area where people are testing. Actually, this is where the incident happened. So the alleged incident is it was a gentleman and his son in the gazebo in the far end, and I was somewhere in the car park here. So it was a bit of an hectic day that day. So I'm not too sure what the allegations are. I'm still waiting for, I've asked for the information to be submitted on freedom of information. So that's where I am there. So that's what a mobile testing unit does. They turn up and they do the testing. So everybody's been going on about testing, and the government is saying they're making 200,000 tests. I'm going to be honest with you. I'll show you a couple of pictures here. All right. This is Heathrow. Heathrow is the biggest test centre in the UK. All right. This was Heathrow this morning, and this was at 9 o'clock. Okay. As you can see, there's 4 testing bays there. Them 4 testing bays there are self-test units. All right. Them self-test units, believe it or not, as you can see, there's nobody there. All right. If I show you another picture, that's how many cars they can hold. Okay. It's hard to believe that we've got their self-testing units there. All right. You see all the people standing around, no cars in there, nobody being tested. That opened at 8 o'clock. Okay. What else we've got on that site is there is test units where people actually, the people drive in and somebody tests them. So we've got a assisted testing unit there as well, and that's not being manned. But over the last 3 weeks, that testing site, which is the biggest in the UK, has only tested around 80 to 120 people a day. So if the biggest testing site is quiet, as the picture shows, what is really going on? That's just some of the information that we've got. If you look at that picture, that's 9 o'clock. 8 o'clock it opened. All right. We're sending people to test in Aberdeen, into Wales, out of London, and we send them north. And we've got test centres which are empty. Okay. This is the test. Yeah, look, that's where the actual individuals come out and test, an assist test. And that again was 2 minutes past 9 this morning. As you can see, it's empty. All right. So for those of you asking questions, you really need to ask questions. What's going on? As I said to you, I'm part of a test unit, and every night before we deploy, we get this email of deployments. So you can see you've got Manchester Airport, Burnley, Coventry, okay, Stansted, Heathrow, Carmarthen, Gatwick, Chester, Portsmouth. All the ones in yellow are reserves. What I can tell you today is the reserve for Heathrow couldn't have gone out. The reserve are there and they're strategic, and they go out if they need to be deployed. And when they go out, they're supposed to have a full team, a supervisor and a manager. A full team is 7 people, 7 testers, multi-skilled operatives. All right? Them multi-skilled operatives today, unfortunately, for Heathrow, okay, that's Coventry. For Heathrow, we had 7 no starts. We had 11 no shows. We didn't have a full. We only had the manager and the supervisor left on site. So if we got deployed today, that wouldn't have gone anywhere. All right. Each van carries 400 tests. Today, the van's deployed. The van I was supposed to take out was supposed to be deployed to, it was actually deployed to Hammersmith Olympia. We carry 400 tests on the actual unit. You're lucky if we make 300 tests. All right. Sometimes we only make less than 100 tests. And I can show you, and everybody's saying, you know, we're doing loads of tests. And this is just one company who's contracted to do it, the company I work for. All right. Actually, it was Sedeco. I'll tell you who they are, because at the end of the day, I feel, you know, it needs to be out there. They're treating the people like shit, to be honest with you. This is we've got a WhatsApp group, so anybody turns up, we send photos out. All right. If you can see, this is the start of one of the jobs we were on, or I was on, and this is a site I was manning. So I sent through, you know, 399 tests, all staff present and ready to start, 10:20. You can see under the WhatsApp messages, Michael, we have 17 to 20 people queuing as walking. They're struggling to book tests, even finding postcodes on the website to register. And turned away. MTU support have requested email HSC about this issue. All right, I had to turn all them people away on that day, and it's heartbreaking. It is absolutely heartbreaking for the managers, and these people get frustrated. And what a lot of people don't realise is, from Sedeco, all right, and from HR, is we're on the front line, and we're the ones who are getting the abuse, and we're the ones who've actually got to face the members of public when they're so pissed off. All right, and we never got support, really. I'm going to show you the photograph. So they're the people turned away. Actually, the gentleman in a white jacket down sitting on the wall, he was struggling to get the site, and he couldn't go to Heathrow to get tested. So we actually put him through on a system, which we weren't supposed to do. But there was, during my time as the MTU manager, all right, I've had incidences, and I'll show you one of the WhatsApps I actually sent. I'll just get it up. So this is the hardest day I had when I was on there. All right. And this is, it still hurts me today. All right. I was in Chelsea, and we only were given 60 tests to test people. I had 400 tests on the van, and We were told we only could use 60 tests. On the day in question, as you can see, I sent this to my senior manager at the time after I tested a woman and took it upon myself. Michael, do me a favour. That last person I put through was an NHS sister of an ICU ward. Told to come to the walkthrough with her disabled child for testing. Heartbreaking to say the least. And it was the last day I ever had on that testing, because I cried. And members of my staff saw how emotional I got about it. And I get emotional thinking about it now. I'll tell you why I get emotional about it. Because I was lucky enough to know the system, and I know the back door of the system where I could get that person in. She had a disabled son. All right. She showed me a disabled badge. She showed me an NHS badges, which I've got copies of them still to this day. And the woman was absolutely brilliant. She phoned 119. 119 told her it's down to the manager's discretion. However, my discretion was I've only got 60 tests. QR codes are only accepted. The woman turned up. She's a key worker. She works on an ICU ward as a sister. We're turning her away. What is going on? And she weren't the only key worker we turned away. All right, and we turn away. We turn away key workers quite often, and it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking because they're the ones who are fighting this COVID. All right. We've got people turning up for tests who are travelling 2 hours to get the site. 2 women. On the day I was alleged shouting, there was 2 women on site who travelled from Essex, and they travelled 2 hours. And they didn't complete the test correctly. And it was something I've been saying to, something I've been reporting up the chain of command and saying the system's not working, we need to do something about it. And actually, I'll show you here. All right. This is a WhatsApp I sent. Can you tell MTU support they need to tell the government site administrator that their site that's supposed to be is confusing, as people are lost on confirmation as they think it's over once they get there. All right, people get this confirmation. All right, yeah, it's in Spanish. The person I was dealing with was in Spanish. They got the date for 17th of September. All right, 12:30 to 1 o'clock testing. They actually took a photo of it on their phone, and they come along, and they're supposed to have a QR code, and they showed me that. We get people turning up with texts. We get people turning up with that. And rightful enough, people think they're booked in, but they're not, because they haven't got a QR code. And it's the manager who's got to deal with that. All right? So the system is broke, to say the least. I'll give you an example of what the staff have got to go through. In the morning, the staff meet up. Social distancing, we get shouted at about. All right? The staff are absolutely amazing. The staff are trying to social distance, but they've got to go to a chart and have a look at and read off. So they struggle. All right? And then they get told they're going to get given improvement notices if they don't social distance. I asked a question. People, human behaviour, people find it out. They'll forget. They become complacent once they get around people. It's like a family unit, and they'll step in to go towards each other. Why don't we issue masks as soon as they get on site? We issue the PPE. And I got told that potentially there's not enough masks, and masks are dear. They couldn't do that. All right. So it's annoying. My background is health and safety. In one way, I'm happy to be stepping away from the role I just done, because, to be honest with you, I weren't doing the role that I usually do. And a lot of people know when I do health and safety, people call me a bastard. I'm sorry to say that. You know, I go by the book. On this job, I didn't. I was so, the one day I was so, my head was everywhere the one day after coming back, after testing 5 people off a site, and I left tests in the fridge. All right. And them tests are supposed to be given in so they can be sent off. And I left them in the fridge. And I left 50 tests in the fridge. But the systems in place should have picked them tests up, because every test is picked up. Actually, them tests weren't picked up until 2-3 days later. And I thought we were only using 1 fridge that day. And we ended up using 2 fridges. And I misheard what my supervisor told me. And I got back, and because I thought the fridges had already been cleaned, because we clean all the fridges before we get back in. And then we clean the 1 fridge when we're there. I thought we only used the 1 fridge. And there was no procedures in place to capture that. Although the tests were still cold, there was nothing there to capture it. There is systems failing. There's things failing. All right. Believe it or not, there's no health and safety designated walking around or going around and testing these sites and checking the sites and making sure the paperwork's done. So people do get complacent because they've got so much going on. All right. But the people are absolutely doing an amazing job. It just needs the government to wake up, the government to start making it easier for them and allow people to go and get the test, sort out the systems, the IT systems. The IT systems are crap. And for the government to say they're testing 200,000, I tell you they're not. All right, I can tell you. Show me the figures, show me. Because at this moment in time, all the contracts I've seen there, I've been in contact with other people in other sites around the area, around the UK, and they're having worse problems than what we got. It's diabolical, you know. And the worst thing is, you've got the government who, this is a cracking photo for you, right? Social distancing. Now tell me why on the 14th of September was there no social distancing behind the speaker's chair? The corridors actually were even worse, because the BBC actually they cameraed the corridors, and you can see the corridors there. You can see an individual at the back in the corridors. You know, the social distance is not there. This is an aerosol. COVID-19 is an aerosol virus, so it stays in the air. All right, the Americans put that on. I've done it yesterday. Why ain't people wearing masks? Where are the masks? COVID-19 doesn't affect MPs, I take it, because that picture would suggest that. And then there's another picture to just show 14th of September, House of Commons. That lady in the middle is going to walk between 2 people and break the 2-meter rule. All right. The amount of shouting that goes on in that House of Commons, there will be particles everywhere in that air. There's no masks. There's no social distancing. People need to start asking questions of what's really going on. All right. Yeah, people can say I'm disgruntled, I'm bitter. I'm far from it. I've just had enough of crap. I've just had enough of, we need to find out the truth. We need to know what's going on, because it's wrong. It's all wrong. You know, I don't know what to say, because yeah, COVID's real. COVID-19 is real. I spoke to that ICU nurse, there's a sister, and I've spoke to other doctors and nurses. It's real. It's affecting people and it's taking people's lives away. But no, let's don't bullshit about track and trace. Let's say what's going on. Let's be truthful. Boris Johnson need to come to the forefront. MPs need to come to the forefront. Even the scientific people need to stand up and be truthful. All right, because there seems to be one rule for one rule for the other. Track and trace. Test. Register my test. Okay. If you walk onto the site, I've done it where I've actually scanned the bar. Allowed somebody to do I allowed the woman to do the test. The ICU sister. She done the test on her son, and she actually administrated this test on her son. And there's an app that I went to, and it's register my test, and you get to register it. You can register the test by scanning the barcode. So, you know, we've got all these tests. We haven't got any tests set aside for. Actually, we have. We've got 5 tests set aside for key workers, and for the police. And police can turn up with show their warrant card. Only 5, and they can be tested, unless they change it overnight tonight. That's what's going on at the moment. All right. So I thought I'd give you a rundown of what's really going on, because the press is not telling you either. We've had the Royal Daily Mail. All right. I've had Jake from Daily Mail. He watched us all afternoon in Harrow. On the day I turned all them people away. He weren't there when I turned all the people away. He came in too late. He came in the afternoon. And he stayed there all afternoon. And they had long lenses. They were taking photos. And they didn't get the story. Because we told not to speak to anybody about what's going on, really. All right? And we don't speak to anybody. We just do what we're told. We're like sheep, all right? But when you kick somebody all the time, then I'm going to say something. Yeah, okay, I've never had this before in my life. I will show you, all right? I got an improvement notice, they call it, all right? This was on my first day of employment. First time I've ever had something like this on my first day. And what it reads is, I was on familiarity training, my first day, and I was given an improvement notice for being over familiar with members of the team using terms that could be misconstrued. So I give somebody a row for working unsafely. That was the first one, and I called everybody in the team on my first day Habibi. Habibi is a term, an Arabic term, which is dude. Okay, it can be misconstrued as my lover, all right, but it's bro, all right, dude. It can be, and I used it to everybody, but I got an improvement notice for that. And the second one I got was communicating during safety reprimands. Clive's body language and verbal communication can be perceived as being aggressive and rude. I'm Welsh. I'm big, you know. So, yeah, I tried to. There was no investigation done. It was straight to an improvement notice. That was my first day, by the way, you know, and it was given to me. My first day was on the 11th of August, but it was given to me on the 19th of August. So that's how they work. And you don't get to say anything about what really happened. They slaughter you straight away. So, and they're slaughtering people now for not social distancing. If they're not 2 meters apart, they're going to start giving improvement notices. I say to them, good luck, because they haven't got enough staff. So if you're looking for a job, all right, it is a good job, because if you're on reserve, and that means if you are not deployed, you go home at 11 o'clock and you get a full shift paid for you. All right. So if you're looking for a job, have a look for COVID testers, COVID site supervisors, or COVID managers. Okay. There's a lot of jobs out there at the moment for testers, but don't expect them to treat you great. All right, because there's a lot of inconsistencies out there. Things changing all the time. The staff at the moment, I feel really sorry for them. you know, because they're, like I said to you, the only thing I am going to miss is the staff. Absolutely brilliant people. I love them to bits. And that's where I am. So if you go for test and you can't get a test, please, 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 don't take it out on the testers. Don't take it out on the managers. All right? You need to take it out on the government. You need to ask questions of the government, your MPs, because the people on the front line who are testing don't need it. All right? And I've witnessed it. I've witnessed people and how they take it out on them people who are there to test. They volunteer to test. Yeah, they get paid, but they're putting themselves in the front line. The people come in there are potentially got COVID-19. All right? Yeah, and I know a lot of people haven't got the symptoms, but we have seen people turn up who look like absolute shit. All right? So please don't, if you go in for a test, do not give any people who are testing you shit. If you haven't got your QR code, if they tell you you're not registered on the scanner, please just listen to them. If they tell you to close your windows, if they tell you not to get out of the car, please just listen to them. They're doing a job. They don't need to be shouted at. They don't need people losing and getting emotion, and taking it out on them. All right, because they're told not to do testing. They're told not to test you. We turn nurses away all the time, and it's heartbreaking. We turn council officials away. It's heartbreaking. So please, all right, think about them people. I love you all, and life is for living. You don't know what's going to happen from one day to the next. Your life can change like that. All right, look, it's part of life. So now I just get up and I move on, and I live life. All right. So I love you all. I just wanted to share that with you so you get a couple of facts of what's really going on. There's a lot more I've got. All right. If you want to talk, I'm here. All right. I love you all. Take care. Goodbye.